projects on AI and ML, and that is the main research area in which I'm interested in working on further. But also currently in my company, I have been given the opportunity of studying and working with cybersecurity as well. So overall, I am not very fixated upon working only on AI ML, but rather I would like to work on something that is at the intersection of different research areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and all of that. And I have applied for a master's in computer science for the fall 2021 term. And I plan to work a bit after completing my master's degree. I plan to work, and I haven't yet decided if I would like to continue studying, like maybe do a PhD or an MBA. But I want to keep that option open for myself. But I know for sure that I will be, right after my master's, I will be working. After that, I'll see whether I want to continue working or go back to studying for a PhD or an MBA.
So you want to, one question I have, do you want to, finish your master's and work over here, or you want to go back and work?
Work over in the US, so work
US.
in the US.
And what type of jobs do you think, or the companies you think you would like to work with?
So the top companies are there, like Amazon and Google are there, but yeah, and then Intel also is there, American Express, companies like that.
Okay. And can you tell me, just I forgot about where you have your admits and what are your choices and why you have those choices? Is there a specific reason to those? If you can brief them quickly.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah. I applied to Arizona State University in the MS in CS course, but I got an admission in the MS in Software Engineering program. And I applied to Arizona because I talked to one of the students there, and they are working in Oracle currently, and they really told me about the curriculum and all of that, and his experience. So I liked his experience there. And then I have another admit from Virginia Tech. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, video just went off, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So other than that, I have an admit from Virginia Tech. There again, I applied for the MS in CS program, but I got an admit from Masters in Engineering in Computer Science. I have another admit from University of Massachusetts, Amherst. There I have from MS in CS. And then I have an admit from Oregon State University in MS in CS. And in this university, I also have a funding opportunity. But the group that accepted me was the HCI and the software engineering group. But I was interested in working with the AI/ML group.
Okay.
And so for OSU, for Oregon State, I really liked the faculty and the work they were doing and the variety of courses that they were providing for AI and ML. For HCI, which is the group which I was actually accepted it, I actually hadn't seen like researched anything about that group. And in Amherst, it is one of the most well-known universities for AI/ML research, so that is why I applied there. And for Virginia Tech, that university works more on the application part of AI/ML, which is again something that I am interested in, and so I applied there.
So, do you have made any of your choices so far? Like, okay, this would be my first preference, or this would be my second, or still you are confused on that?
Sir, a little bit. My first preference would be UMass Amherst because of the location. Again, these are things that I would like. If you could tell me whether my my thinking is correct here or not.
So, Janvi, a couple of things I want to tell you here. See, you are coming for your master's program, right? And your ultimate goal here is to find a job. That's the most important thing, right?
Yes, sir.
The most important thing in this is not location. But the most important thing is you want to go to a university where you are able to secure a job. I think that, in my opinion, that should be the first priority for most of the people. So in that,
So
yeah,
by
go ahead.
so by location, I meant that Amherst is nearby New York,
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, if
like in the
yeah.
east or west coast. So there, the Silicon Valley is there in California, and in New York also there are many jobs related to computer science.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is, in general, I will say, in general, you will find people in US, even they are in the middle of nowhere, they can find a job, because eventually most, unlike in India, most of the companies that you apply for jobs are online. You know what I mean? And because of COVID and a lot of things have, especially in software case, I would say, since a lot of jobs have become virtual, location, I don't think it matters that much, to be honest with you. So I would at the same time, I would say, let's say if you are in a very not known university up in San Francisco, you will definitely have an upper edge. That's also true. But in
Okay.
general, the universities you have told me, I don't think that you being in New York and then somebody in Oregon or somebody in Virginia would have a trouble in looking for a job. I don't think that happens. Just to
Okay.
let you know,
Okay.
I don't think that is the case. Don't I? What I'm trying to tell you, don't give it a priority. Okay, if I have a university like Emerist, which is close to Boston, then I can work in Boston, and Virginia guy will not work. That doesn't happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think
Okay.
your
Okay.
priority should be based on what interests me the most, what I want to do, where I'm feeling more comfortable. That should be your priority, based not based on, okay, it's close to Boston, so I can get a job. It doesn't work that way. Especially, as I said, in COVID, that thing has gone a lot. And
Okay. Okay.
people are doing virtual work, and being interviewed virtually, and that's how it's gonna stay, especially for software. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, sir.
so that's not the case at all. That's number one. Number two, I would say, again, if if loan is a big thing for you and you don't want to burden your parents, I would say also consider. I would say also consider that as a factor. So let's say, I will give you an example. I was talking to a student who got an admit at Cornell, and he really wants to go there because he wants to have the bragging rights of work studying in Cornell versus some tier 2 university. I mean, that's fine, but are you gonna pay $50,000 to brag something versus something else? Because I didn't go to Cornell, I didn't go to any top schools like MIT or Stanford, but there are people who work under me are from MIT or Stanford. So in long run, it doesn't matter, I would say. I always say that in general, also it's very true in, like in India, like for example, when I graduated from IIT, it was a big deal, not going to IITs versus, but in US it doesn't matter that much. The differences are not that huge.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
So,
so that's why there's a mentality there, like you want to go to a big branded school and pay 60
hmm,
70,000 from your pocket. So keep that in mind also. Unless until that
okay.
place really excites you in terms of work, in terms of a lot of things, I would say give loan a priority. The reason I'm saying so, because especially in COVID, I saw and I talked to a lot of students who had this debt, and you don't want to have the student debt in your head, um, and be bothered about that, because what happened is that hampers your decisions as you move along. Then you have to accept a job no matter what you get it. You know what I mean? Because you want to pay a loan. So
Correct. Correct.
your thinking changes, your decision making changes. So if you if you or your parents can afford go to MIT, I don't that there's no point, right? Because schools are business and at the end of the day. But if you can avoid that by saying, okay, I have these admission at these two tier schools, they are almost the same, and the interests are almost the same, but one is willing to pay me something, other is paying nothing. I would say the one which is paying you something, I would go there, because as
Okay.
I said, in the long run, it doesn't matter where do you work, where you graduate from, especially in US. If you are from tier 2 university, um, as I said, for example, if you look at Google, right? Google hires from Cal Polytechnic School, that's in California, which is like tier 3. It also hires from Stanford, doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's the same thing with Amazon. If you look at Amazon, the people who work there are from even community colleges, which is like I would say in India you compare community college with where they get associate degree, like sometimes apprentice. So what I'm saying, you get hired from all quarters. I'm not a big advocate of taking a huge loan in a study. That's my personal feeling, and I advise the students the same. Because what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying is because once you have a loan, your decision making affects. Because if you don't have a loan, then you can think freely. You can say no to a job. You can say yes to a job, and you can accept not what is coming to you, but accept what you would like to do. So that is also a huge thing. And what happens is eventually, if you take a loan, it's not like you are not able to pay it. You will eventually pay it, but it's just foreseeable circumstances that you want to avoid taking a loan, unless until that place interests you. Because the universities you have told me, I would rank them almost the same. It will not like one is at the top, one is at the bottom. It wasn't a huge gap. All of them comes under, I would say, tier 2 type of universities in the US, in my opinion. And so if you go anywhere, I would say the decision could be, okay, where I am most likely to get what I want to do, where where my interest lies, which university is willing to pay, has a less fees, and then which universities basically have a chance to get me some scholarship or something. That's how we'll rank, not like this university in Boston or this university in Indiana. It doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So according to that, then 2 universities, Virginia Tech and UMass Amherst, they both explicitly mentioned in their admission letter that no scholarships or assistantship positions are available for master's students.
I mean, that is also that's also true, Janvi. Is for masters in general, you won't find a scholarship. For PhDs, yes. That's why when I was speaking to Mamaji, I was telling him about what are you looking for to do. That's the reason I asked you this question. Are you want to do PhD? Because if you tell me you want to do PhD, my answer would be very different. But you say we want to go for a job. But also, I will tell you very frankly, once you get a job, you're never going to come back. That's also very true. So, and the reason I say so is you may be a unique example, but in general, that what I have seen in last. I know my friends also. I mean, personally, I didn't go for a job because I did my bachelor's, master's, and PhD right away because I knew once I get a job, nobody comes back. So that never happens. So that is always, unless and until, the only case that happens is I have seen that unless and until people get fired from a job and they are afraid of going back to home country. And they said, okay, what can I do best? Because I cannot find a job. I'm out of status because you need a visa, right? So they said, let me get a PhD. But that's not the right way to do PhD too. You should do out of your interest.
True.
Right. So, just keep that in mind that even if some universities are saying we may be willing you to get a scholarship or something, keep that in mind that you maybe end up paying a full or a portion of it from your pocket. Yeah. So, if some university has a low fee, I would definitely accept that. I think I was talking to a student. He got admission at Stevens Institute of Technology, and another admission he got at Texas Arlington. And if you look at the fees structure at both, I think there's like 2 times the difference. So my advice him to very different. I said, go to Texas Arlington. Doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying is like, why do you want to pay that much fee? I mean, there is no point. I mean, and in US, as I said, it is the difference in the quality of education between Stevens and Arlington will not be like this much. You know what I mean? There will not be huge. I mean, in my opinion, they would actually, in many cases, Arlington would be better. Okay. So you have to understand that part also. That this is very true. So just keep that in mind when you make that decision.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So the university that I'm currently studying in, is a private university in India. So what I saw here was that there can be many different types of crowd in the university, and I was lucky enough to be around people who had who were hardworking and who had the similar goals that with to me. But what I realized was that the people around you and how they think and all of that is also important, and that drives what kind of discussions you have with your
Mhm.
peers and all of that. So I feel in my university only I saw other kinds of people as well who weren't as serious and all of that. So I just want to make sure that in the university that I end up going to for my masters, I'm around people who encourage intellectual discussions or good discussions, and who are there for doing something, not there just like that.
Yeah,
So
but it's a good question, Jan. We actually, there's a saying called, um, you are the sum of the five people closest to you, make them count. I think that's what you're
hmm,
talking about. So, that's your choice. That's your choice. Because, you can find that you can say the same thing about not only in your college, but within your relatives too, whom you're talking to, right? So,
hmm,
there are things that, you have to make that decision. Because, no matter where you go, because I can tell you, even in IITs, where I went, it's not like everybody was great. People used to
hmm,
smoke around, people used to do this and that. There were, I had a couple of friends whose career has deteriorated in a way I cannot even imagine, just because
hmm,
of their habits. So what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter where you go, you can find people like you, or like-minded. Yes, that is also true that you go to a better school, and that's the reason better schools do better, because
hmm,
your parameters becomes very high, right? But again, coming back to your point, the schools you are telling me, you will, in all these schools, you will definitely find people from IITs. You will find people from, I'm just talking about India, right? So in general, you will get an idea from IITs and IITs, private school, and so forth. And the same thing goes for true for big schools, like even in Stanford. You can find people from universities you have not known, because they probably got a good GMAT score, and they did good internship or something. And
hmm.
on the top, they are willing to pay $60,000, right?
Okay.
Because getting admission. Let me tell you very frankly, if you're looking for high quality people and all that, go to ISC Bangalore and do your masters. That's my point, because there is no, how difficult that is. Getting admission
Hmm,
to a US university is very easy. So that's the reason. So once you have a crowd which has an easy succession to a university, you will find every type of crowd. If you want the cream of the cream, then you have to fight for it, right? So you have to think
okay.
about yourself, like how much you're willing to put your hard work. And the same goes true for if you want to work for Google, because the interview process would be rigorous,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
right? So, but if you want to work for abc.com, you can work any day. So you will
hmm,
find the same type of a deal there too, right? So you have to understand, like, wherever you go, whether it's India or US, if you want to go to a place you want to be, you have to fight for that. And that's where you have to really think. And as I said, a lot of times that happens is, let's say, you know I didn't went to MIT, but my behavior was not it was par like that. So I made
hmm,
sure that my goals and my achievements are exactly like the same way, and then I started doing better. But this is the very, very, very deep discussion I can do on this part. But it's totally depends on you. As you said, you are basically, look at five people around you, you will
hmm.
realize you are the average of those five. So and you can find those five people in anywhere. But again, intellectual doesn't mean they are emotionally intelligent also. That's also the second
Hmm,
part of it. So you have to understand, it's not just IQ, because you can be very intelligent but notorious, and can be a militant too. So
hmm. True.
you want a person who is a well balanced, right? So
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
yeah. But as I said, all the universities you have told me, you will find people who are from actually you will find people who have masters and probably they are getting full scholarship, and there will be a reason to it. You will find that too, trust me. You will find people from IIT Bombay, computer science, and they might have full scholarship. You will find that. So what I'm saying is, what you can do is, there's a way to do that, is you go there and become very serious, pay attention to your studies, make sure you are following the professor, uh, take initiatives, because in US is not like India. Here, if you don't take initiative, you go back. The person who does best in US is, nobody gonna come and spoon feed you. You have to do things on your own. So fight for it, take initiative, try to learn new things, try to reach people, don't shy away. These things will matter the most. And who knows, once let's say you go to Emirates or Virginia Tech, you might like a professor who is amazing, and you might like his or her research, and you said, why can't I do PhD? Because that also happens too. Right. So just keep these things in mind. But I would say you will meet people from all the quarters, from everywhere. So it's not like I don't think you're going to a community college where you will have that sort of a question. What you're saying.
Okay.
These are more or less the same type of universities, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are so many. I know that all these rankings and all of those websites, they don't matter that much. But how much does the university ranking actually mean? Whatever QS rankings and all of that.
As I said, what you want to do. That's what I'm saying. If you tell me, that's what I'm saying. There is always, you have to understand. If you want to draw a straight line, you need 2 points, right? You have initial point. You are asking me a question where the final point is not known, because I can't tell you the answer. If you know your final goal, and final goal, as I said, tell the students a lot of time, is it has to be very clear. So for example, if somebody tells me, hey, Amit, what do you want to do after 10 years? My answer would be, I want to be a vice president. It's a very vague answer. Vice president for what? Which company?
Okay.
Where? If I say I want to be a vice president at Lockheed Martin, working for a space program in Colorado, it's very clear, right? So I know what to do now. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to make that final point. You need to know, okay, 5 years down the road, where I want to see myself, and the location, the time, the position, very clear. Trust me, you will know the answer. And as far as the ranking and all that is concerned, that's what I'm saying. If you say, hey, I want to become a professor at MIT, you say, hey, I want to be a professor at IIT Bombay, my answer will be totally different. Then I can tell you, yeah, ranking matters. But for what you want to do for that, I don't think ranking has a value.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, as I said, for you, the priority has to be where your interest lies. How much money are you willing to pay for that? Is there a scope of getting a loan? And yeah, I think that's it. Other than that, I'm pretty sure you will, as I said, once you go to these universities, you will find, like, people have found a job in Google, Amazon, everywhere. It's not like that. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, that is also true what you said. As I said initially, if you are in California, it used to be true. I don't know what is happening now, but if you're in California, and there are very, very small universities there, which you have probably never heard of it, they get consumed by consumer over there. Like, I know, like San Jose State University, like the biggest hire by the Silicon Valley, like people work there, like, so, that's also true, but, that is not the university in your pocket too. So I can't say much.
So because of this reason, I actually applied to California State University, East Bay. And I am waiting to get a decision from there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. So again, if you get admission there, I can tell you for sure, looking for a job would be much easier. That's for sure. Again, how much are you willing to pay for that? That should be a question.
Yeah, so I one of the reasons for applying there was to have an option, it as an option, like a university right in between California. Yeah. And also that the fee, because it's a state university, the fee is very less, even lesser than ASU and OSU, which are both state universities as well.
Yeah. So I can tell you, like California State University or San Jose. I know about San Jose State University because I know so many people who worked at everywhere. And you know, one of the things that you can do is just go to LinkedIn and just Google California State University or San Jose University, and you will see their alumni, which company they work, and you will find like so many of them. You know, that's the one of the easiest way to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time, I would say, you know, the COVID has made things much different also. So nowadays the reach is very high, and you know, companies are moving in and out from California. That's other thing that is happening. A lot of reasons. You know, they are moving to Texas.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other question?
So another question that I had was regarding the fees only. The all the 4 universities, they have they displayed the credits according to credit hours, the fee according to credit hours, 9 credits and all of that. And Oregon has a quarter system, and all the other universities have a semester system. So if you could, I tried to read about it, but I couldn't understand how different that is and how that will.
Yeah. So usually what happens in US, you know, I'm from the old school. I graduated a long time back, but I can give you my best information. In US, you pay by credit hours. So what that means is, like, for example, if you are in first year and you take 3 courses, each courses will be like 3 credit. So you will have 9 credit. And to get a master's degree, the requirement from the graduate school is you should finish, if I'm not wrong, like 36 credit hours. So that means you will end up taking like 12 or 13 courses. That means every semester, if you take 3 courses divided by, multiplied by 4, that's 12, right? So you will end up finishing that coursework in 12 in 2 years for masters. Right. Again, if you are doing thesis versus non-thesis option, that's different. But this is what it usually is. So you have to look at, if you really want to know how much fees I'm willing to pay, all you need to do is look at the final credit hours, and you have to look at, for each credit hours, how much university is charging for out of state.
Okay, for each credit hour. Okay.
For each credit hour. So for example, if you look at ASU, they might be charging $800 per credit hours. So 800 multiplied by 30 or 34. That much is that just the tuition fees, right? Plus on the top, you will have a recreational fees, this fees, that fees, whatever they take. So this is how you calculate the total tuition fees. But there is a gap there. There is a caveat there. I can tell you one thing for sure. Usually, if you take more than 3 courses, that is 9 credits, that's too much work, lot of work. Okay. But if you're extremely smart, okay, university says if you are taking 9 credits, or I think if you take, if you take 4 courses, so 4 courses will be 12 credits, right? 4th year 12. But they say if you are taking more than 4 courses in a semester, and let's say if you're taking 18 courses, 18 credits, which is like 6 courses, right? 6 3 is 18. Then we will not charge you for more than 12 credits. So you save that much money.
Okay.
Many universities do that. I tried to do one time when I did my master's, it burned me down. It really burned. So not everybody can do that. But if you are willing to, I mean, I was getting a scholarship, so that was not my problem. I was trying to finish quickly. But what I'm saying, if you want to do that, it's going to burn you like crazy, especially if you have a thesis. But this is one of the way to save money. One of the very good ways, because you can take, but they say, okay, if you're taking like more than 12, but less than 18, so they will allow you to take probably 2 more courses for free. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But not more than that, because I don't think you can take it. Because what happens is, if you're taking more courses, sometimes you cannot even find course because they have conflict hours.
Okay.
because they will have 9 to 10 same courses. That's how they take care of that too very smartly, because they want to get more money out of you. Yeah. So they are smarter than you in that sense. But usually you can find some elective or something. They said, okay, let me bypass this, and you might be able to do it. But it taking more than, as I said, 3 courses, like 4 courses is like you can't even make your dinner sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, that will be too much. 3 courses is going to burn you, because what happens is, if a professor start giving you homework, it's like it's never ending story.
And so you mentioned credit. No, the fees for 1 credit you mean per hour or 1 credit? Is there a difference?
No, I said 1 credit. That's it. Don't think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, just think about how many. Just if you have a question, just ask a grad school or the department secretary how many courses how many credits I need to complete it, and what is the fees for out of state tuition per credit hour, per credit.
Okay, per credit hour.
So for 1 credit, how much I need to pay for out of state, because you will be considered out of state. In a state, for example, if I'm born in Ohio, if I live in Ohio, I pay less. So for example, I'm doing my master's from my MBA actually from Ohio State. Because I'm in Ohio, I pay $1,200. If you are from India and doing your MBA, you pay $3,000.
Oh.
So you have to ask out of state how much do you charge per credit. So if they say 1 credit, that's what I'm saying. 1 credit for Stevens Institute could be $2,000, and our Texas Arlington could be $500. Right? And then usually most of the course, they say 30 credit hours or whatever they say. Roughly that's what it is. And you can multiply that number and get an idea. Yeah.
So it's a direct multiple of the 2 credit, I will be directly into 2, not anything. Like if I take it cumulatively, it is less expensive. It's not like that.
No. Because as I said, the only reason this calculation will make a difference if you say, okay, what about if I take 2 extra courses, because you will get waived, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, if you say, okay, 3, 2 year finish, just do a multiplication cumulative. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to the universities that I got an admission from, the Oregon State University, as I mentioned, I received a funding offer from there, but it's a thesis based degree. So the group that accepted me was their research area is something that I don't have I have interest in it, but my primary interest is not that, and I have no experience in that as well. Other than that, as well as Oregon is not as known for that research area as well. And on the other hand, Virginia Tech and UMass both are well known for the research area that I want to work in, that is AI and ML, which is my primary research interest. But they both are not willing to provide any funding opportunities or anything like that to master students. So,
I will tell you, Genevieve, if I was you, what I can do, I can tell you that, right? If what would I would have done? I would have gone to Oregon State, and the reason is very simple, because what my end goal is. End goal is to get a job. And for my end goal is to get a job in Google or Amazon or something, and I'm pretty sure I can get it through Oregon. There's a way to maintain your interest, at the same time make sure that I'm not paying from my pocket, is by taking courses on the areas which is of my interest.
Okay.
The point here is you can always take a courses in machine learning or whatever you want to do. Right? Unless until it's like you are so determined, because if you are a PhD student, I could have answered no for that, right? Don't do that. But if you're a master's student, it doesn't matter too much, because master's is unlike bachelor's. Master's is still very wide open. And trust me, master's is much easier than bachelor's, actually, to be honest with you, because you finish in 2 years, and it's just like taking courses and passing it down, right? Unlike PhD is a totally different beast. So master's is like you take courses, some courses. I mean, think of your bachelor's, right? Did you like all the courses? No. Did you like half of them? Maybe. Did you like 2 of them? Yes. So that's how it's going to work. but
Okay.
not having this unsecurity of paying from your pocket, in my opinion, that's a big thing,
Mm.
that again, if you tell me, okay, Amit, is it possible to get me a job from Oregon State versus from Virginia Tech? I'd see no difference, because Oregon is
Okay.
equally popular, and because it's a proximity close to California, I would say
California.
it's much better. Yeah. So I don't think, and CS is much easier. CS is, and Oregon is very popular place. Very beautiful, nice place. You will love the environment. It's a beautiful state. I mean, I went to Tucson to do my master's. I ran away from there because it was desert. Even though I was getting paid, I didn't want to continue for my PhD. So I came to Maryland because it was desert climate. I hated it.
Mm.
I really hated it. Actually, for my first spring break, I went to Shashi Mamaji's house, and I remember lying in the grass for like hours and hours because I miss grass so much.
So I've also applied to UMBC. I'm yet to receive
Yeah, it's a good school
any
too.
decision from there.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
a good school. Many students go there actually. I mean, a lot of students. I have some friends who graduated from there, working at Google, Amazon, Samsung. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm yet to receive any decision from there.
They have
So,
a ubiquity group or something which is very popular. I heard
okay,
there is a professor there called Joshi. If you Google,
okay.
look at the faculty, Joshi, and his wife also is a professor there. That's his group. I think it's very popular. Ubiquity or
Uh,
something. Yeah.
it is what is the group about? What do they do?
I think they do security. I mean, I had roommates who used to work there. That's how I know, because
Okay,
I
okay.
was from mechanical. I have roommates who both used to, one work for Cisco now, one works for Adobe, and other works for Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So all three graduated from there. All they were from West Bengal.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And so for Oregon, I talked to students there. So they were happy there and everything. But one of the things that everyone mentioned was that uh, career fair is not very good there. But they also did mention that you'll have, just like you said, that you'll have to maintain a strong online profile and contact online
It's US is
the.
or online, Janvi.
Hmm.
I am telling you, it's not like India where companies come and they hire.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
unlikely. You go online, and I would say 99% jobs are online. You apply
So I
online.
shouldn't look up for the career fairs if I shouldn't make my
I
decision
never
based on
found it
that.
very useful. I mean, here and there,
Okay.
people you can talk to someone, but even career people, when they come for a career fair, you know what they say? Apply online. So what do you?
Okay.
I mean, you can
Hmm.
ask your friends; they're gonna tell you the same thing, because they are there to show their presence. And now there is no career fair; it's all virtual. So
Hmm, true. So okay.
yeah. I mean, in my opinion, you are coming for a master's. If you are getting paid from somewhere, I would say that's best, because you're gonna enjoy, because master's is not about just study. You're gonna enjoy spring break. You're gonna come out. It's not like you don't want to say, "Hey, I can't go here because I'm paying from my pocket." I mean, I have seen students who, that's a misery.
Hmm.
If you are getting paid, have fun, go out, roam around here and there, rent a car, drive this, and have fun. And
Yeah, that
as you said,
pressure is not there.
yeah, as you said, yeah, and masters is going to be finished like this, and you won't realize, and you will be probably doing a job without any loans. So it's a good thing.
And you also mentioned that since my end goal is as of now it's job, so what I worked on, for example, either it's HCI or AIML, it won't matter much ultimately.
Yeah. As I said, as I said, if you can make your decision as quick as possible. Like, say, if you say, I think I made my decision, I want to do PhD, my advice would be different. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. It's like, you can't say, okay, I want to do this, and maybe I will do this, or probably maybe it doesn't work that way. It's gonna
Hmm.
complicate a little bit more, because I was not sure what I will be doing, but then I I made many changes in my career. Like, I probably want to pursue something else, and then probably my master didn't help me much. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, Janvi,
So
I have to go back to work too, but do you have any couple of more questions I can take from you?
no, so other than this, nothing. I guess one of the key major takeaways I have is that I have to first make sure whether I want to do a PhD or not directly.
Because if you want to go PhD, my advice would be very, very completely different. And then so think about it more. And because as I said, masters is very easy. Don't take that what my interest and all that, because trust me, it before you finish your master, you won't even realize that I'm done. It goes that fast, and then all you remember is looking for a job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so another question, it was mentioned in the mail that the recording will be uploaded to YouTube. So when will that be? When will it be uploaded?
I will do by end of this month.
Okay. Because tomorrow I have a call with a professor from Oregon State.
No, don't worry.
So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I probably do in April, and because I have like 10 recordings that I still have not uploaded because I have my exams coming in, and I was busy. But I have this channel where I put things where people do. Actually, I think from your university, I have spoken to like 3-4 students, to be honest.
From UPS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, from your school and from DIT, I have spoken to a lot of students, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are a lot of students who are reaching out because of the channel and all that. And
I
this
saw
has been
it
very
too.
helpful. Yeah.
So basically, your final advice is that if I am looking for jobs, then out of the universities that I have received and admitted, it doesn't matter because all are almost in the similar level. And I should see what I want to do. And then the second priority should be the fee, how much it's costing me. But if I have plans for PhD, then...
That's a separate talk.
Okay.
That's a separate talk. Then I have to think more about that. Yeah, because PhD, I will give you just two-liner because I'm getting out of my time. Is PhD is more about your interest. Okay? PhD is not about, hey, I can apply 10 places, let me where I get. PhD, you apply because you really want to do that. It has to be more targeted. It has to be more involved. The money should not come into your mind. And once it happens, PhD is always funded. It's never unfunded. So if somebody's saying, hey, you want to do PhD, that's good, but I don't have money, there's no point. So, PhD is more about your interest and all that. And in that case, you can probably, the only thing I advise is target the group that you love, you fall in love with them. Because that is the only driving factor, because those 6 years of your life or 5 years of your life will be horrible. You don't want that. And because, PhD is not like bachelor's. Master's, as I told you, in my opinion, is much easier than even bachelor's. PhD is very a different beast. So you want to do what you enjoy for, and it's not about getting a job at the end, because PhD doesn't guarantee you more money. PhD doesn't guarantee you more new job or a great job. You probably end up in a more misery. But PhD is all about interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in case I get an admission from, let's say, California State, so would you then rather say that I should go there because it's in California, plus the fee is definitely lower?
Yeah, I mean, California certainly has an advantage, and being in a software or IT sector, California is full of those type of jobs and companies. For sure, you will have that leverage. I would say definitely. I don't think why you will not, because being in California, they are the most sought out people. You are next door. You probably will be doing internships in like places. But if you say, hey, if I work at Cal and not at Emerest, can I find a job in Google? I can't answer that. Yeah. Okay. Because to be Google, you have to behave like a Google or act like a Google. That's what you gonna get you a job in Google, not at Cal Poly or anywhere. You have to be one of those people, Yeah.
Okay, sir, got it.
Got it. Good.
Yes, sir.
Good.
That's it, sir.
No. I'm glad I was able to speak with you, and hopefully everything works out. Send out me an email or something when you come. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure
Thank
we
you so
will
much,
meet
sir.
someday. Okay.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time, sir. Thank
Sure.
you.
Sure. Bye.